True Crime Society podcast contains adult themes and violence and is not intended for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. And if you'd like to skip the intro or move to any specific part of the podcast, please refer to the timestamps listed in the episode description. Thank you. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the True Crime Society podcast with Stephanie and Olivia. It's June 14th, 2026. I haven't been saying the year. I've been slacking. I always think of that one person that wanted
who said,
that.
Please say the year. I guess, too, if you're a new listener, you'll be like, what year is this?
It's crazy. We've been doing this for 6 years.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if I feel wrong saying that.
No.
It's been a long time. Wow. We are hoping we have some new listeners joining us this week. We did have a big boost.
Social media influx.
Social media influx, because Olivia was a genius and made this reel that like blew up. She posted a reel about Taylor Parker like right when the Netflix documentary came out, and everyone was just talking about the Netflix documentary, and obviously hopefully directed people to our episode on it as well. Because I feel like we did talk about stuff that wasn't really in the documentary too. I get they only have so much time, but they focused on some things that we didn't focus on, and we talked about some things that they didn't really cover. So it is still good to listen to all aspects. But anyways, we did get like 10,000 new followers on the TCS Instagram, which is a lot in a short amount of time for us. Like, I know people are like, oh, they have so many followers, like they don't notice these things probably. I feel like this conversation sounds very stupid, but our follower count really doesn't grow that rapidly.
It goes through
normally
spurts. Like, I don't know, obviously we don't do this either as our full time. Like I work 9 to 5, you have a job and you're home with your baby at the moment. But like, I just feel like there are some true crime people who do this full time, whereas for us, it's kind of a matter of doing what we can when we can.
We've never full-time focused on it.
No. So it was just that this was good timing. Like, I'm just looking at the reel. It's had over 2 million views, which is pretty crazy. So every now and then there will be a case that blows up. Like the Gabby Petito case was one, the Moscow case, and this one is getting a lot of attention again now, even though it's an older one because of the Netflix documentary. So we were so grateful that everyone came and joined us, and hopefully some of them will come over to the podcast and check it out.
Yeah, so we also just wanted to put a reminder in there for people who are just joining and don't care about what me and Olivia are up to and don't care to hear us talk about the weather. There is a timestamp in the episode description that you can literally just click. That'll bring you to the start of the case. So do that instead of leaving us a rude comment about how you don't care about us.
I also did a timestamp reminder on an Instagram story the other day, and a listener sent us, she's like, I love you guys, but I just want to let you know the timestamps are never correct. And the reason for that is
because of the ads.
It's a general guide. So like on Spotify, for example, you will hear dynamic ads which are tailored for you. Like when I listen to podcasts on Spotify, I get Australian ads. Obviously, you're not going to get Australian ads. It depends on what your algorithm is. They're tailored to you. We can't know the exact specific length. So if you do click on the timestamp and it's slightly off, just fast forward or rewind like 15 or 30 seconds and it should
get
be
you
very
pretty
close. Yeah.
Yeah. We can't really do anything about that. Like I mark where it is without the ads. Sometimes I'll try to like add a minute to factor that in. Yeah. But if you don't like the ads that much, just join our Patreon, okay?
Good cross promo.
Yeah. I just have a quick chat topic. Of course, it's about baby drama as usual. But I just have to say that I just dealt with the most traumatic blowout ever today. Like, it was crazy. We're literally feeding him. And like, I don't know why he always loves to like take a poo while he's eating. So he's eating and I can tell he's pooping. What?
You gotta make room for the rest.
I know, that's literally what it's like. So I'm like, oh, he's pooping. And Mike's like, oh yeah, I can smell it. So we finish feeding him or whatever. And Mike's like, ugh, it's really starting to smell. And I'm like, okay. So I take him out of the high chair and, half the food is in his lap that he thought he was doing so good eating. So we're like, ah. And then I pick him up and Mike's like, and I'm like, what? He's like, the poo came out. And I'm like, oh no. And at first I'm like, whatever. Like, we've dealt with blowouts before. but I see it's like all in the high chair. Maybe this conversation's too gross. It can't be too gross. This is a true crime podcast. Like, come on. I see it's like all over the high chair seat. And then I look and it's like none of it went into the diaper somehow. It all just came out the leg. And it's
Must
just
have been
all
exactly
over.
how he was sitting, which is
yeah. And it was just all over, like all in his clothes. Like I was like, oh my God. And I was like, Mike, you need to help me. Like normally I could change a diaper by myself because I am alone with him a lot. Thank God Mike was here, because also at 10 months old, changing their diaper, I know like everyone says the same thing. It's like wrestling an alligator. And immediately he like starts like grabbing down there. So I'm telling Mike, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like unbutton this. I'm gonna slide it down. We had to like lay down a towel because it was just getting everywhere. I was like, it's already on his foot somehow. It's already on his wrist somehow. So I'm like, I tell Mike, I'm like, you have to hold his arms because he's gonna start flailing around. So we're both like holding him down like he's like a little, it's like wrestling like a little pig. We're holding him down, wiping him as he's like trying to flail and roll around. And it's like, there's poo just everywhere. It was the worst. I got it on me. I had to wash off. Really, I should have like just probably thrown him into the bath at that point, but it was too late. It was a mess. So thankfully, got all of it off, cleaned him up. But it's just like some things that happen, you're like, did that really just happen? Because it felt insane.
I was just saying in Patreon, I really don't miss that aspect of parenting.
It's like he's like literally covered in shit trying to fucking roll over onto his stomach. Like I'm like, Mike, hold him down.
Literal pig in shit. You said it's like wrestling a pig.
Yes. It's like they're shockingly strong when they're determined.
So support for today's episode comes from Square, the system that fixes one of the biggest headaches in running a business. Starting a business can be so exciting, but running it is where things can get complicated. You're juggling payments, inventory, staff scheduling, online orders, reports, and somehow you're still supposed to serve all your customers. Square brings all of that into one place. Whether you're selling lattes, cutting hair, detailing cars, or running a design studio, Square helps you run your business without running yourself into the ground. And right now, listeners can get up to $200 off Square hardware when you sign up at square.com/go/TCS. That's SQUARE.com/go/TCS. Visit Square to get started because the right tools make all the difference. I've spoken about how we've recently been traveling on our trip, and there was a few times where it was so hot and I didn't have the currency, like any cash currency of the country. So I'd go to like a street seller and buy a bottle of water. And when they had Square, I was just so happy because I could use my travel money card, use the Square. It was so much easier than having to go and find an ATM to get cash. It just makes my life, like I love that they can email you the receipt. Do you want a receipt? I'll text it to you. I'll email it to you. It's just such a handy feature.
Square gives you one connected system to handle it all. Instead of juggling multiple platforms, you can take payments in person, online, or on the go, track inventory and sales automatically, manage your team and schedules, see what is actually making you money, access your earnings faster with Square Banking. It's not just a point of sale, it's the system that keeps everything in sync behind the scenes. Square isn't just fast, it's smart, transparent, and built for the way people actually run their businesses. If you're starting a business or running one that deserves better tools, Square helps you sell, manage, and grow without slowing down. Right now, you can get up to $200 off Square hardware at square.com/go/TCS. That's SQUARE.com/GO/TCS. Run your business smarter with Square. Get started today.
So yeah, I've had a pretty quiet week. I did watch the Reagan Hancock and Taylor Parker documentary pretty much as soon as it came out, because always, I don't know if it's the same here, because obviously I'm in Australia, so it's like comes out Friday. It's like all day Friday. I'm like, well, where is it? It's Friday. They don't ever give a time. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe I just don't know where to find it. So as soon as it came out, I watched it. It's only 90 minutes long. If you haven't watched it, I recommend it. It was well done. They did focus a lot on Taylor and her background and the lead up to all of this, which was interesting. They interviewed Wade and his mother and all that, which I did find interesting. I do wish there was a little bit more about Reagan's life. It was more so, I feel like, definitely focused on Taylor and what she did. They did interview Reagan's mother, which was really sad, and they played the 911 call, and also like they showed like it was kind of a blurred, a little bit censored photo of all the blood, but my goodness, there was a lot of blood. I can't even imagine walking into that scene. They interview her stepfather, Reagan's stepfather as well, and he was like in the episode we spoke about how Taylor left Reagan's other daughter unharmed, thankfully, but in the documentary he speaks about how he has to step over Reagan's body to go and get the little girl, and she was kind of hiding in a bed. It was horrible. Like when we made a few posts on social media about it, and someone made a comment and they said, "Thanks for spoiling the Netflix documentary for me," and I was just like, that is such. I don't even know if that person listens to the podcast, but that's a horrible thing to say, because this is not just a Netflix documentary, and I feel like they really
like spoiling it,
bring this home. Like when they interview her mother, Reagan's mother, and her stepfather, it's just, and her sister as well, it's just a horrible, like it's, I know it is entertainment for people because it's on Netflix and everyone is invested in the case now, but you also have to remember that this is someone's real, actual horrible life. And imagine just having to step over your dead daughter's body to go and get her child. It's just horrific. I recommend the documentary so you can learn more about the case. As Stephanie mentioned, they focus a lot on some things and not on others. So there is so much more to the case than what is in that 90-minute documentary, but it's definitely worth a watch to find out more about it.
Yeah, and you do learn more about, like, I only watched half of it. I haven't gotten through the whole thing yet, but even just from what I've watched, you kind of see, because in our episode we talked a lot about, like, how did this happen? It kind of shows like how it happened. If they were all just, it sounds insulting to say like very simple, but
yeah, and
very
the thing
simple. Like I felt bad for Wade.
Yeah. I do feel bad for him, but also I feel like a lot of them had suspicions. Like they interview two of Wade's friends a lot, and like one of them basically says that she knew she was doing all this research. Like there were ways that this maybe could have been stopped, but I guess you don't want to get involved in other people's business. I don't know. I can understand why it kind of just slipped through the cracks, but it was just a perfect set of circumstances that Taylor slipped through all of these.
And maybe Taylor knew that.
Yeah, maybe. So anyway, it was interesting. Check it out. And if you've got any other thoughts, I still have a lot of questions. I don't think we will ever have the answer to some of the questions. Like, how could Wade surely not have known for 9+ months that she wasn't really pregnant? And he does address that in the documentary, but I'm still like, come on, really? I don't know.
I know. I feel the same way where I'm like, I feel bad for him just because like what a horrible thing to go through. And he does seem very just like, I don't know the right word without sounding insulting, but people will know what
gullible.
I mean.
Very gullible.
Yeah. And so it's like you feel bad, but you're also still like, come on, there's got to be some responsibility here too.
And people were telling Wade, like I could talk about this for hours, but people were telling Wade like she can't be pregnant. She's had a hysterectomy. Her ex reached out to him and said there's absolutely no way, but still, I don't know. We always I feel like we say it every single week. I guess you just would never ever think that anyone could do something like this.
Like just be like, let me see your stomach for real.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, let's not talk about this forever. Again, just
There'll be a lot of timestamps this episode.
Yeah. All right. So we have some new Patreon subscribers this week. So we have BJ, Eileen, Natasha, Amirani. I hope that's right. I'm sorry if it's not. If you want to send us the correct way to say it, we'll redo it. Robin, Big Dog, and Allie.
I always love it when someone sneaks a little nickname in instead of their real name.
Yeah.
Gives me a laugh. And listener of the week this week is Kay. She left us a comment on Spotify and she said, great episode. I'm an OG fan listening since the beginning. I save up a couple at a time. You guys find the most unique cases. I love it. So thank you very, very much.
I feel so dumb because I kept looking at, you wrote LOW and I was like, hello. Listener of the week. Duh. All right, so today we are going to be doing some scammers, some
I feel like it's been a while.
Cancer cases. We do these episodes randomly and people seem to be into them because like, what a horrible thing to do. Like we have a common enemy and it's these people. If you're faking that you have cancer or some other illness to steal money from people, you are ultimate trash.
Yeah.
That's it, period. We're going to talk about 3 cases today. The first one we're going to talk about is Vanessa O'Rourke, who is 37 years old and is currently wanted by the FBI after she defrauded people in a cancer fundraising scheme.
I feel like you may have seen, if you follow True Crime, we've posted a little bit about this lately, but the FBI have kind of done a really big push in her case lately, even though it's been going on for years and years, but they seem to be focusing a lot on her at the moment. So you may have seen it across the media, and it's on the FBI website. So definitely kind of one that's more current.
Yeah. So some background about her. Vanessa was born on July 14th, 1988. We don't know too much about her life prior to the scheme, except that she lived in Harleysville, Pennsylvania at one point, and she was married to a man named Michael Golinello, who was from Massachusetts, but they split in 2010. Michael has spoken to the media about some events that occurred during their marriage, which raised red flags back then. He said, "We were supposed to get married at some hall and had put down a $2,500 deposit. Then she said she found out we couldn't get married there and told me that they said we could only have $1,200 back. The deposit was actually fully refundable, and about a month later, her mom got a car. I feel like that money was given to her mom." So already seems like she's scheming.
Yeah.
Been scheming.
Yeah, scheming for a long time.
He went on to say, "I literally took out student loans to help her college. I thought I was being a good husband. I had to go to court numerous times about the student loans because she never paid a penny back. Even when we got divorced, the court said my debt is her debt and it's more than $100,000. It's stressful. So Michael has cystic fibrosis and severe stomach problems, and he said that Vanessa did help him with this during their marriage. He said, "I have a lot of health issues, stomach issues. I had 2 major stomach surgeries. I was really sick for a 2 to 3 year span. She was really there for me. At that time, I thought I was on my way out." He told the media about how their marriage ended. He said, "She started to say she had a tumor on her gland. I didn't not believe her, but her not having proof made me feel suspicious. That's when we had irreconcilable differences." He said, "I have paperwork for everything with cystic fibrosis, so I know how that all works. It just wasn't adding up that she had nothing from the hospital to show for it." Michael said that Vanessa became fixated on traveling to Australia. She also spoke about needing to go there for life-saving medical tests despite not actually being sick. He said, "There was a student from Australia at her university, and I thought she was cheating on me with him because of how fixated she was on it. She was really smart and had a good personality, but over the years, a lot of lies came out." He said he now wonders if Vanessa was so caring towards him as she thought he may be dying and that she would benefit from it financially. He said, "I have thought maybe she thought I wasn't going to make it, that she'd get some money, use me to co-sign life insurance, and then I'd be dead." He said, "She never did anything scandalous I can think of other than lying to me. She never did anything where I thought she'd become a criminal." So Vanessa began scheming around 2015. In October that year, she began to tell family and friends that she had terminal brain cancer, glioblastoma. And according to the Mayo Clinic, adult glioblastoma, also called glioblastoma, is one of the most aggressive forms of brain cancer. Even with modern treatment, the prognosis is generally poor, although outcomes vary significantly between individuals. This typical survival statistics, the median survival is only about 12 to 18 months after diagnosis with standard treatment. And the treatment is surgery when possible, followed by radiation and chemotherapy. The 5-year survival rate is roughly 5 to 7% overall, and a 10-year survival is very rare, generally under 3%. So yeah, very severe cancer choice that she picked. She claimed at this time to be a medical student at Temple University and that she was studying to become a brain surgeon.
Very convenient for a brain surgeon to have terminal brain cancer.
On brand. Really good for the story. So Vanessa began to crowdfund in order to raise money to travel to Australia. She said she needed to go there to receive experimental treatment.
This is so interesting to me because I feel like Australia is not the place where you would go for experimental treatment. Like I know people here go to Mexico, and because obviously things are very highly regulated here. Like you may be able to take part, I guess, in a clinical trial. And I'm not totally across obviously all the medical advancements and things like that. But I just feel like I have never, ever heard of anyone apart from a clinical trial here coming for experimental medicine. Like everyone goes to Mexico or to some other country where people will let them try other things. It's just such an interesting pick that she obviously wanted to come to Australia, and that was
just wanted to go on vacation.
Yeah.
So she set up a GoFundMe that raised almost $12,000 from 146 people. It always makes me so mad because I'm like, I could use $12,000.
Yeah.
Like these people are just giving out money in this, and she's just lying. So Vanessa traveled to Australia in April 2016 for this treatment, and she entered the country on a visitor visa. According to the According to the FBI, while in Australia, Vanessa engaged in a variety of leisure activities and did not receive any medical treatment. She then returned back to the US, and in June 2016, a beef and beer fundraiser was held for Vanessa at a restaurant in Bluebell, Pennsylvania. Local businesses were asked to provide items to auction. Attendees paid both an entrance fee and money to bid on the auction items. It's just fucking crazy. In July 2016, Vanessa returned to Australia and again did not receive any medical treatment. She was still on her visitor visa and stayed in the country illegally. She claimed to be a doctor in verbal and written communication and got a job with a private medical company in Queensland. Did they check? Did
Well,
she
I don't know. Like,
or?
I have so many questions about this, and there are a lot of holes in the story. Like, I'm guessing this company won't come forward and admit to have hired her when she had no qualifications. But I really hope she wasn't working as a doctor, because she was not one.
Yeah, hopefully just like an admin
like some
job,
other
maybe.
type of admin role. But then also I have so many questions. Like, she was on a visitor visa. How do you not check? I don't know. She just managed to somehow, obviously she's a con woman too, so maybe that's why, but she's managed to slip through so many cracks and still to this day manages.
Yeah. By May 2018, law enforcement had figured out Vanessa's scheme, and on May 3rd, a federal grand jury indicted her on 15 counts of wire fraud and an arrest warrant was issued. By this time, she had fled to Australia. The U.S. Attorney William McSwain said, "The allegations in this case are nauseating. O'Rourke is charged with preying upon the kindness and generosity of good people who wish to help those in need. As alleged, there was no need here, only lies, greed, and callous manipulation." In August 2019, Vanessa was placed in immigrant detention in Australia. There's very little information about this online due to Australia's strict laws, annoying, but nothing appears to have happened in terms of extradition, etc., related to this case.
Again, I have so many questions about this. Like, why are they not extraditing someone who's been wanted by the FBI for years? And I feel like maybe it's because her immigration status was more of an issue for them at the time. I don't know. I still just have so many questions. She seems to be free. As far as I know, she's not in detention anymore, but why? Like, it's just wild that this is all... it's bureaucracy.
Is she being held accountable at all? Like, that's what I don't get.
Yeah, I also don't know. I just have so many questions.
Is she just on permanent vacation?
Seems like it.
How is she making money?
She
have a job.
She could probably work like under the table, like some type of cash work. But I feel like they know, it's like, we'll get into it, but I feel like they know where she is. They just can't do anything about it, it seems.
Yeah. So Australia and the US do have an extradition treaty. What is not publicly known is whether the United States formally sought her extradition. Australia rejected an extradition request. Immigration proceedings took priority over extradition. Authorities were unable to locate her or establish her status. So in September 2020, the case was publicly unsealed and the FBI made their first public appeal for information. Vanessa called her ex-husband Michael for help that year also, and he said about that, "She somehow got a hold of me. She called me and asked if I could send her proof we got divorced because her mom can't do it." Noted to the Post that he'd changed his number since the time that they were together, and she still somehow got in touch with him. And he said, "I said no, she was already wanted." Vanessa told Michael that she needed the proof so that she could return to the US, which... does that make sense? I mean, I don't travel a lot, but why would they need to know she was divorced?
Yeah, I also don't know either.
So media reports indicate that Vanessa has been cited in Queensland as recently as the end of May 2026. Maybe you could go find her.
Yeah, I know. I might be up there later in the year for my daughter's dance competition. I'll have to keep
an eye out. U.S. authorities have urged anyone with information about her whereabouts to contact the FBI or the nearest American embassy or consulate. Vanessa has used aliases such as Vanessa Gutlinello. That's her. I'd be so annoyed if I was saying, I'd be like, cut it out. And Cecilia Vincent Gaeta Lazaro. She's described by the FBI as being 5'7" and weighing 170 pounds.
One thing I do find interesting in this case is, don't get me wrong, I think she's an absolute horrible, manipulative person, but she frauded people out of, I'm just finding the figure, $12,000. So it's a decent amount of money, but to be on the FBI's most wanted list for this, like, I wonder if there's other things going on.
Yeah.
It just seems like a lot. Like maybe
For
if she had have
$12,000.
swindled millions of dollars, yes, to be on the FBI's most wanted list. I don't know. I wonder if there's other things going on that they are going to charge her with once they find her.
Yeah, it's true.
Like there's other cases where we hear of and the FBI don't get involved. And I feel like the FBI are involved mainly because she's left the country. But just interesting to me that like it is a pretty minor theft. If it is only $12,000, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I feel like there must be more, like you were saying. Those two side-by-side pictures next to each other are so funny.
Yeah, so she has changed her appearance a lot. Like there's a photo from when she was in America, and she has kind of dark short hair, whereas the most recent photo, which looks very recent to me, I don't know where they've found it from, but she's got blonde, longer hair. She looks like she's probably lost quite a lot of weight. She's obviously probably had some Botox and fillers and things like that. So I guess that's to make herself
much more gasified.
Yeah, I guess that's to make herself maybe a little bit less recognizable. But like, I wonder her motivation for this. Was she really that obsessed with Australia that she wanted to come and live here? Like, surely, like, you wouldn't need that much money to actually come here. She could have worked for 6 months or a year and saved the money and come. I just feel like now to steal $12,000, be on the FBI's most wanted list, be in Australia illegally. Like there's other ways she could have gone around this, which would have been so much easier, and she could have just lived her life as she wanted in Australia.
Yeah, maybe she's looking for Robert Irwin.
Well, that's where his zoo is, so maybe that's what's going on.
Yeah,
so it sounds like even from what her ex-husband said, she continually lied about the wedding venue deposit. Just, I don't know. Obviously, there's got to be some type of mental illness at play here, but I just can't understand how she's gotten away with it for so long when they seem to know where she is. Like someone saw her as recently as last month. So
yeah, it's very weird. Like you said, it seems like there might be something more going on.
Yeah. So the FBI have been doing a massive push for this one, and we've got all the information on the blog, but we'll let you know if there are any updates.
Mm-hmm. Before we get into the case, this episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack, hydration, and coffee sponsor. IQ Bar protein bars, IQ Mix hydration mixes, and IQ Joe mushroom coffees are the delicious, low-sugar, brain and body fuel you need to win your day. The Ultimate Sampler Pack is a great way to try all IQ Bar products and flavors. You get 9 IQ Bars, 8 IQ Mix sticks, and 4 IQ Joe sticks. All their products are clean label certified and entirely free from gluten, dairy, soy, GMOs, and artificial ingredients.
There are plenty of flavor combinations to choose from across all IQ Bar products. There's mint chocolate chip protein bars, which I absolutely love. Tastes like a little treat, but it's so good for you. To blueberry pomegranate hydration mixes, and then to my favorite vanilla spice coffee, and even limited edition and seasonal flavors too. With over 20,000 5-star reviews and counting, more people than ever are fueling their busy lifestyles with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffees. The Ultimate Sampler Pack includes all 3. And right now, IQ Bar is offering our special podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, including the Ultimate Sampler Pack, plus free shipping. To get your 20% off, text CRIME to 64,000. Text CRIME to 64,000. That's CRIME to 64,000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details. All right, so the next 2 cases are also related to Australia, which I didn't seek out to do this. It just so happened that when I was looking for similar related cases, there are 2 quite high-profile ones that have happened in Australia. So the second case is regarding another cancer scammer, Australian woman Tara Enoka. Tara is a mother of 4 from Perth in Western Australia. She was said to be an amateur boxer/kickboxer, and her partner was named Xavier Willis. Xavier's previous partner had actually passed away from cancer 4 years before he met Tara. So this one makes this is like especially sad. He actually had a partner who died from cancer, and this next partner turns out to be faking her own cancer diagnosis. But he and Tara had 2 children together. So in March 2021, Tara claimed that she'd been diagnosed with both breast cancer and cervical cancer. She created the Stand With Tara social media channels where she'd regularly post videos giving updates on her illness. And we'll pop a clip in here about where she talks about being diagnosed and how she never asked for help before, but she's learned it's okay to ask for help. So very interesting. I was surprised they were still up when I started looking into this.
My name is Tara Enoka. I'm 32. I've got 4 kids, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer a month ago. And just as of 2 days ago, I was diagnosed with cervical cancer. My whole life I've never been the type of person that's ever asked anybody for help. And in the last couple of weeks, I've learned that it's okay to ask for help. So that's what we're doing. We are fundraising, or we're raising the money to help pay for the treatments that I need to potentially save my life, so that I can be here for my kids, to watch them grow up.
She said, my whole life, I've never been the type of person that's ever asked anyone for help. And in the last couple of weeks, I've learned it's okay. We are fundraising. We are raising the money to pay for the treatments that I need to potentially save my life, so I can be here for my kids to watch them grow up. So Tara raised more than 37,000 Australian dollars through a GoFundMe. Her partner helped with the campaign, and they even got retired American bodybuilder and 4-time Mr. Olympia Jay Cutler to share their story. He has 5.8 million followers on Instagram. So it seemed legit. They were getting these high-profile celebrities to share it. Seemed pretty legitimate at the time.
It's also crazy to me with like this case and other ones you cover in the past, when they're like doing like blogs and videos and like getting these public pleas, because it's like they're really lying,
Leaving a
and
trail.
have like no
Yeah.
problem, like over and over and over and over again, just like lying about this to people.
So Xavier trained Tara's clients during her sickness and also cared for all of the children while she claimed to be in hospital. There isn't really a single documented event that led to Tara's scheme being discovered, but between 2021 and 2023, questions about her claims were raised and complaints were made to the Western Australian Police, and they began an investigation. Tara was said to have travelled to Thailand to fight in a kickboxing event, which no doubt did not help her cause, because really, if you were that sick with cancer, would you be going to Thailand to kickbox? I don't think so.
Yeah.
In 2024, Tara was charged with gaining benefit by fraud. Her partner Xavier spoke about finding out that she'd been lying to him. He apparently had no idea that none of this was true. He said the manipulative measures that Tara went to were completely extreme, from fake treatment plans to telling me she was on chemo and blood transfusions, even making me pick up the children from the hospital. So in January of 2025, Tara pled guilty to a downgraded charge of possession of stolen or unlawfully obtained property, rather than proceeding on the original fraud charge. She appeared in court in May last year, 2025, and the matter ended up being adjourned after the court heard that Tara was unsure how to comply with orders relating to the repayment of stolen funds. The magistrate who presided over the case was Magistrate Raylene Johnson, and she said that the matter was very serious and warned Tara that imprisonment was a possibility at the time. The charge that she was up on carried a maximum penalty of 2 years in jail or a fine of $24,000. So at that time, the media reached out to GoFundMe for a statement, and they said they were aware of the matter and that all donors had been refunded. They said GoFundMe has a zero tolerance policy for misuse of our platform and cooperates with police investigations of those charged with wrongdoing. All donors to the fundraiser in question were refunded in June 2024 under GoFundMe's giving guarantee after charges were laid against the beneficiary. So
That's one good thing about GoFundMe is they're always
Yeah.
quick to be like, no, and then return
I feel
the
like
money.
you often hear that they do. I'm not sticking up for them because I know they take a lot of money from their campaigns, but they do seem to be pretty on the ball with fraud type situations.
Yeah.
So in September last year, 2025, Tara was sentenced to 13 months in prison with 11 months suspended, meaning that she was only required to serve 2 months in custody. The magistrate reportedly described her conduct as deliberate and highly deceptive. Xavier made a post on Instagram for his daughter's 5th birthday where he said that his children were his reason to keep fighting. Sadly, your mother was jailed yesterday for faking cancer. Evil acts such as fraud, blackmail, and corruption have torn our family apart. So I feel like, I don't know, again, it wasn't a massive amount of money. Like I know it was $37,000. It wasn't millions of dollars, but she did get a sentence. I don't know if 2 months ended up being enough. At least I guess it was something and not just a slap on the wrist and another fine.
Yeah.
The last case we're going to discuss is another Australian one, as I mentioned. It's regarding the case of Adelaide mother Michelle Bodzsar. This one is probably the saddest one for me because it involves a child being involved in this scheme. Michelle claimed that her young son had cancer and multiple tumours in order to get donations, and she went to extra lengths in what she did to make her story believable.
A court has heard a Westlake's mother who admitted faking her son's cancer diagnosis had a spiralling gambling addiction and described funding a lifestyle like the rich and famous. But today, her husband told the judge he was completely in the dark and he now knows what rock bottom feels like.
A silent departure from court, having just addressed his wife, who Ben Miller claims destroyed his family. Michelle Bodzsar faked her 6-year-old son's cancer diagnosis, collecting thousands in donations. The court hearing the motivation behind it all, mounting debt and a spiralling gambling addiction.
The defendant's actions are deeply offensive. They exploit and diminish the suffering of seriously ill children.
Mr Miller was initially accused of taking part in the scam. His charges were dropped and he maintains he had no idea what his wife was doing. I want you to know that you have destroyed me and my children's lives. We've had to rebuild everything. I had complete trust in you as my wife and I never doubted you. I was devoted to our family. I now know what rock bottom feels like.
Were there any signs that she was doing this?
Bodzsar's web of lies leaving a lasting mark on her family and friends who believed in her scam.
But there's also feelings of guilt and shame that they helped the offender by gathering donations from other community members.
Very little emotion was shown by Bodzsar today. She did wipe away tears, though, at the prospect of seeing her children again. But prosecution are adamant she should be banned from spending time with them once she's released from custody.
Bodzsar has asked to be spared time behind bars. She'll be sentenced next month. Shannon McDonald, 9 News.
You can find the name of Michelle's son online, but it's been legally suppressed by the court to protect his privacy, so we won't be sharing it here. As some background, Michelle lived with her husband Ben Miller in the Adelaide suburb of West Lakes. The couple are reported to have had 2 children together, and Michelle was said to be working at one point as a hairdresser. According to AAP News, during the pandemic, Melissa developed a gambling addiction and she was also diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. In September of 2024, Michelle's 6-year-old son suffered an eye injury following an accident on a trampoline. The child was taken to an ophthalmologist who cleared him of any permanent injury. But despite this, Michelle took this as her chance to begin her scheme. She told Ben that their child actually had cancer. She said that the scans had revealed there were 3 tumours on his optic nerve and that he would require 8 rounds of radiotherapy. I just wonder how she decided to do this. Obviously, I feel like the motivation in this was financial due to probably her gambling addiction. But the child had an injury to his eye and she's just decided to run with this as we're going to pretend that this is cancer. And like, it's just diabolical that she actually, like, this was her thought process.
Probably already thinking of like doing something like this, and then she like saw this as like her, oh look, there's real physical proof now that I can use.
And this injury uncovered the cancer, and wow, aren't we lucky that we found it out.
Yeah.
So Michelle actually shaved the child's head and eyebrows, used bandages, an eye patch and a wheelchair, and gave him unnecessary medications to make his illness appear real. It just reminds me so much of Dee Dee and Gypsy in that sense.
I was thinking that too.
She wrote on social media that the child had stage 1 eye cancer. She said, 3 tumours on and around the optic nerve. I look at you with sadness in my eyes and heart. It's unbearable for daddy and mummy to see you go through this. Your blues no longer shine, but an emptiness in a world you have not been in long. So there is a photo of the child. They've blurred out his face, but basically you can see he's got a shaved head. Looks like there's bandages on his head. I just, like, imagine telling your son that he has cancer when he doesn't. It's just horrible. So the community began fundraising for Michelle and her family. There are varying reports. I feel like this one is probably the most monetary for the biggest amount of money that was obtained by fraud, and there's varying amounts. Donations totaling between $11,500 and $22,000 Australian were collected. According, though, to the nightly.com.au, they reported that the family collected $60,000 in 2 weeks. According to 9.com.au, Michelle had transferred at least $5,000 of that to her daily living account and had received thousands of dollars of cash donations. So in November 2024, an investigation was launched in partnership with the Department of Child Protection, the Child's School and CPS. And by December that year, police had identified inconsistencies in Michelle's story. So initially, both Michelle and her husband Ben were arrested and charged with criminal neglect and deception. Authorities said that they had operated, quote, a devious and cruel scheme. Authorities confirmed that the child was not receiving treatment for cancer, and the police called it a farce illness. The couple's 2 children were removed from the care of their parents and were placed with a nominated carer following concerns for their psychological health. Police said that the 6-year-old did believe he had cancer and that he was seriously unwell.
That's so crazy.
I know. The prosecutor told the court their children are young, vulnerable, and the safety of the alleged complainant is paramount. The magistrate in this case was Alison Adair, and she said that a prosecution submission that the chance Michelle might impede the police investigation was a valid concern. As we mentioned, Ben was also held at this point. The magistrate said, having read the allegations, it appears this defendant, as in Ben, is less involved than the other offender, and in the circumstances, I am prepared to consider home detention bail. So after these arrests, police did speak and they said the child is away from the parents, so that's an important thing. And the commissioner said, I couldn't think of a more devious and cruel scheme that the parents have done to their own child. It's abhorrent that people would seek to profit from their own personal greed and selfishness from such an insidious condition like cancer that affects so many families. Police said that at the time they were also freezing the couple's bank accounts and they were attempting to recover funds for people who had donated. In early 2025, the charges against the husband Ben were dropped after it was determined that he had been deceived by Michelle. And Michelle was by this point charged with 72 offences. In October last year, 2025, Michelle reached a plea agreement with prosecutors. She pled guilty to 10 counts of deception and 1 count of conduct likely to cause harm to her son. Sentencing proceedings took place between November 2025 and April this year, 2026. The court heard victim impact statements from family members and also heard about emotional harm and detriment that was suffered by the children. So in April this year, Michelle was sentenced by the judge to 4 years, 3 months and 20 days in prison. She'll be eligible for parole after serving 2 years and 4 months. The judge said that she refused to accept that Michelle's gambling and financial difficulties were the root cause of the crimes. The judge said, you attribute much of the root cause of this offending to financial difficulties, saying that you felt you were living beyond your means and needed to provide your family with the latest fashion. I do not accept that. Your offending is far more cruel and manipulative. It was designed as an attention-seeking device. Mm-hmm. The harm caused to her son was perpetrated on a daily basis by giving him fake medication and forcing him to take it even when he clearly did not want to, the judge said. It's a form of child maltreatment and child abuse. Ben, the husband, spoke and said, no sentence will ever justify what was done to my children. He said, the judge said that Ben had absolutely no idea what was going on. And then she said to Michelle, your crimes have resulted in him losing his job, his career, and being unable to get work because he was on home detention. And he also had no contact with his children for almost 7 months. The judge also said that the son was now angry and sad for no apparent reason, and the daughter was anxious about being abandoned and has been deeply affected. So this, I feel like, I know that all of the cases are horrible and they're all manipulative women, but this one is just so sad because they involve the children. It would be something if it was a baby and, the baby, she just said, oh, this baby has cancer. But this is a child who's old enough to recall that he was told he had cancer, he was seriously unwell, and he believed that, and he was betrayed by a person who was meant to protect him.
Just knowing that his mom made that all up and harmed him for no reason.
For no reason.
I think the judge said it perfectly, that it was all attention seeking, it was selfish of her. She didn't need to do something like this to fuel her for financial reasons. What she did was absolutely sick and disgusting to her children.
In all of the cases, and especially the last one, I just wonder about the thought process. How did these people think they're actually going to get away with it? I know you, depending on the stage of cancer, you could be cured, but how did she think no one was going to find out that she was faking her son's diagnosis? It's wild.
Yeah. It makes no sense.
So I did have a look to see if there were any stats about the amount of fraudulent GoFundMe campaigns, or I know there's other websites as well, but GoFundMe have repeatedly stated that their fraudulent campaigns account for less than 0.1%, which is fewer than 1 in 1,000. I did try to find out what the most fraudulent crowdfunding scheme that I could find was, and basically it all began in 2017 when Kate McClure and her then boyfriend Mark started a GoFundMe. I remember this too, for a homeless veteran named Johnny Bobbitt.
Oh,
She
yeah, I do
claimed
remember it.
that Johnny gave Kate his last $20 when she ran out of gas. Their made-up story went viral. She promised to give him the money, and more than 14,000 people donated more than $400,000. So Johnny Bobbitt ended up suing the couple and accused them of keeping the money from themselves. And the court documents showed that basically none of their story was true. They spent large chunks of the money in a matter of months on lavish casino trips and a BMW. So $400K is a lot. Like now these days, sometimes I see GoFundMes, like even I know this is not a fraudulent one, but like the Travis Decker case, her GoFundMe, the wife, I feel like raised over $1 million. They're getting more and more and more as they're shared more. The ability for people to make more money is increasing. So I just feel like it's something that is going to keep increasing. People see the ease. You can get them to donate, take the money out.
Especially now, it's even easier with like things like ChatGPT. You could just be like, oh, ChatGPT, make this more like emotional, more like something that'll really provoke people to want to donate money. And ChatGPT will be like, yes, queen.
And chat will also give you the details of your illness. Like, like tell me more about what happens when you have stage 3 cancer, whatever it is, whatever the thing is that the people choose. I do agree that there's more and more tools available. People who want to conduct this type of fraud, and it makes it easier for them to be a little bit more sophisticated.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's just sad because like there's so many people and families who do have a loved one that has cancer that don't have GoFundMes and aren't like trying to get money from people and just like take on the expenses themselves the most they can. And then you have people like this that are just lying about having like such a horrible, scary illness just to exploit people. And it's sad because I know like it's rare that like there's people out there that are this shitty, but it could deter people from wanting to donate to GoFundMes altogether. Because I mean, even in our Facebook groups, we've always said like we sometimes don't feel comfortable sharing GoFundMes because you don't always know exactly where the money's going. Like they could say they're raising it for the family, but we've seen a couple where they weren't totally truthful.
Yeah, and also like there's been I can't think of a specific case off the top of my head, but there've been cases where they're like, we know that there are multiple GoFundMes. None of these are verified by the families. Please do not donate to them. People just there are people who will take the opportunity to scam whatever they can out of a horrible situation.
Yeah, unfortunately. I feel like with times being like tougher these days as far as like the economy goes and just like the political like climate and all that people are going to be getting more and more desperate, that like we could be seeing this happen even more. And especially like I said, like ChatGPT and all the different AI tools make doing stuff like this even easier.
Yeah. And just like it goes, I know it's not really the same, but when we did the Taylor episode last week and she managed to fake a pregnancy by any of the documentary, they go into how she purchased her fake sonograms online, and you type in what hospital you want the sonogram to come from and your name, and so you can basically there's ways
people shouldn't even be allowed to sell that.
I know. So there's ways online that you can basically fake whatever you want, and I just feel like that isn't ever going to decrease as technology, I guess, improves and increases and becomes more widely, these tools become more widely used.
Yeah. So technology, as always, is a blessing and a curse.
Men and technology, the worst. And these are all women saying that. We've just had, I shouldn't have said that. Some women are also the worst.
Yeah, there's just bad people everywhere, it feels like sometimes.
Yeah.
But anyways, that is it for this episode. If you guys have any other scammers, or we also do, not specifically like fake illness scammers, bad influencers, like we did Brittany Dawn, we did what's his name, why am I forgetting it, Liver King.
Liver King, yeah,
he's gone really downhill.
But
people like that, we like to do episodes on them too. It kind of breaks up like we say this every time we have to do an episode like this, like it breaks up, not that these things aren't horrible, but they're like horrible in a different way than murder is horrible. So it kind of just like breaks it up every so often to do a different type of episode.
We did Belle
So
Gibson
send us some
too.
our
She
way.
was the one who was in that Apple Cider Vinegar Netflix show. Another
Oh,
Australian.
yes.
I don't know why all the Aussies are being deceptive.
Scammers. But yeah, send us more. We'll do more episodes like this. But that is it for this episode. Everything will be on the blog at truecrimesocietyblog.com. Make sure you're following us on Instagram. We're always posting new stories there. We've been really on top of with making new posts lately. We're trying to be more cohesive about it, be more professional looking, if you've noticed. Even though it's nothing crazy. We just tried to have a similar look across all of our posts. But if you notice that, that's why. So make sure you're following us there at True Crime Society. If you want to see what we're up to, my Instagram is StephSum_. Olivia's TCS Olivia. Check us out there. And if you enjoy the podcast, check us out on Patreon. Got more content from us. We do weekly bonus episodes. We do all the episodes ad-free. And we have some community chats where we share more, and everyone's always talking in like the book club chat that we have. We have like a casual chat. We have a crime chat, obviously. Recipes. Lots going on over there, so check it out. Plus we do the main episode a day earlier, so you get early access. And then if you could share to your Instagram stories, we love seeing what everyone is doing while listening to the podcast, and we always like to reshare them, so keep doing that. On Spotify comments, I have this long list. Spotify comments, leave them. We like to read them. Well, Olivia does. I'm too scared still. But that's it for this episode. Love you guys. Stay safe out there. Peace out. XO. Bye.
See ya.